Hi, my name is Jayden and I'm a graduate of the Adult and Teen Challenge program, and I'm currently in the Surge Emerging Leaders program. The last 6 years I struggled with drug addiction as well as mental health, and it took a turn for the worst when my brother passed away on January 2nd of 2021 due to suicide, and after that I was just left completely lost, broken, just hurting, and I couldn't hold down a job anymore. My addiction skyrocketed, and on April 1st of last year, I overdosed on fentanyl. And when my roommates found me and rushed me to the hospital, I was already in the overdose state for 13 hours. And woke up the next day in the ICU, and they said I had about half an hour left to live. My heart was only beating twice a minute at that point, liver, kidney failure. And so I was very, very lucky to be alive, but I didn't feel that way in the moment. I kind of was done with life at that point, just broken, hopeless, and so I spent a week in the ICU recovering, and then they moved me up to the second floor of the hospital, and I was in a lot of pain from having the liver and kidney shut down, and I was asking for these heated blankets, and I had about 14 or 15 already at this point, and it's about 2 in the morning, and the nurse could just see what kind of pain I was in, and she took a bit of a leap of faith, and when she brought me this last blanket, she grabbed my hand and said, "Cry out to Jesus. Jesus loves you. He can save you." And so in that moment I did. Tears were just rolling down my face, and I cried out. And it didn't happen instantly or the way I thought, but he slowly started to turn my heart of stone into a heart of flesh in the hospital there, and ended up getting a Bible from my grandparents, and I really connected with the story of Jonah, the man that's always running from God. But so after that, I decided that it was time to join the Adult and Teen Challenge program, and with the help of family, I applied there in the hospital, and the intake process was super smooth. I basically transitioned right from the hospital to the program, and I didn't go with the best of attitude, but when I got to the program, the guys brought me out of my room. I was kind of isolating that first day. They just shared their testimonies about what the program's been doing in their lives, all the students, and a light bulb just went off, and I just realized, man, this is what I've been looking for this whole time. And on my second day in, I accepted Jesus into my life as my personal savior, and from that moment on, I just started feeling love and joy, hope, peace, all the fruits of the Spirit just slowly started to build in my life. And so over the course of the next year, going through the program, I really developed a lot of life skills, restored relationships with family. The relationships with my family were very damaged and hurt through my actions throughout the addiction, and it wasn't an easy process, but just through the phone calls that we were allowed weekly, and then the passes monthly, started to rebuild those relationships. But a key turning point was when I read the Spiritual Slavery to Spiritual Sonship book, and in that book the author talks about how his relationship with his father was badly damaged, and how he kind of lived as a spiritual orphan because of that. And he said for himself, what he had to do, what God put on his heart to do, was to ask for forgiveness from his father for certain specific actions that had happened. And so I decided to do the same, and so I did that with my father first. I remember on one car ride home from a pass that I was on, and it just felt like a weight was lifted off my shoulders, and that was a key turning point in our relationship, where we just really started to connect after that in a way that we never had before. And so that was something really special to me. So at a later time, I ended up asking my mom for forgiveness also, and there's been complete restoration with that relationship as well. And I always look forward to going out to their place almost every week now and spending quality family time together. immediately I felt called to leadership, and so now that brings me to the Surge Emerging Leaders program, where I'm walking alongside the guys in the first year program and just showing them the love of Christ and leading like Jesus. And yeah, it's been really cool to see how God's really turned everything around. And even my dad now is a volunteer at Teen Challenge. He's getting involved in different groups such as the Concerned Persons group and Ready Now Recovery groups. And he loves the Freedom Church that Allen Teen Challenge hosts Sunday evenings. And I thank God that He saved my life when I overdosed and is now using my story to help others. I can't wait to see where He's going to lead me in the future.